Tonight's weather report, brought to you by Ergon Energy. Remember, 10% less. Your environment will thank you.
Good evening once again, Weather Watchers, and welcome to this wind weather briefing on this World Meteorological Day. Yep, World Meteorological Day. That's when they salute all weather presenters. No, I'm only pulling your leg. It recognises the good work that the Bureau of Meteorology does worldwide, the World Meteorological Organisation, and it's celebrated on March the 23rd every year. My thanks also to Sam Heathwood for tapping your barometer over the past 10 days whilst I was on secondment to WIN's Toowoomba studios. Thanks also to Tourism Queensland for this beautiful photograph of northern beaches. You should recognise that. It's obviously not taken in mid-January, isn't it? What do you reckon about early June, early July? And of course that's between Cairns and Port Douglas. Let's have a look at rainfall through the region. Not a lot to report, and this typifies the situation for the next several days. Tully Mill 10, Tully itself is probably only, half a kilometre difference in distance, 8 millimetres. Tully Weir, a long way west of Tully, of course, 4 millimetres. Coombaloomba came in with 4, Central Mill 3 and Innisfail 2 millimetres. Righto, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. We're going for a fly around the region for temperatures. Tolga today, a minimum of 18, a maximum of 27. Innisfail 23 to 30. It was fine in most areas of the region today. Cairns 23 to 31, Green Island 26 to 28. Much the same for Low Isles. That gives you an idea of what temperatures you would have experienced in Port Douglas today. Cooktown 22 to 30. Now the only rain for the 6 hours to 3 p.m. was McAvoy Bridge in the Innisfail district, 5 millimetres, and Bones Knob up on the Atherton Tablelands came in with 1 millimetre. Current conditions for Cairns, the temperature 27 and the southeasterly 20 kilometres an hour. Next, yep, you guessed right, where's all the cloud? Most of Queensland is fine and dry. There have been a few showers along the coast, but most of that cloud impacting the coast is high-level cirrus. Now remember Friday night, Sam would have told you about it developing lower in the Coral Sea. It did not develop actually, but it shot through quite rapidly to the southeast. This is a second one, okay? And it's located a short time ago, 1001 hectopascals. The coordinates 14.5 degrees south, 153.5 degrees east, and is moving southeast at about 15 kilometres an hour. At this stage, no impact on the Queensland coast. On the synoptic chart, a very familiar pattern. We've got the developing low in the central Coral Sea. We've got a high of about 1,024 over the southern Tasman Sea, so we've got a fairly firm ridge along the East Queensland coast, a very familiar pattern, southeast to easterly winds with a few. In other words, the terminology for the forecast reads isolated showers coast to ranges, and continuing fine inland. This low out here, well out there to the east, will deepen further over the next 48 hours and may develop into tropical cyclone Jasper over the next 2 to 3 days. Righto, let's have a look at the forecast for the North Tropical Coast and Tablelands. Isolated coastal showers, moderate southeast to east winds, Cairns a max of 30 degrees. Similar conditions for Wednesday. For the maritime observations for the boating fraternity, not bad conditions. Green Island, poor conditions, aren't they? What am I talking about? 23 knots. Myrmidon Reef, 15 knots. Underwater visibility at Norman Reef was 8 metres and much the same at Moore Reef. For the coastal waters forecast, Cooktown to Cardwell, southeast to east winds of 15 to 25 knots, seas to 2.2 metres with a persistent 2 metre swell. Tidal information follows. This is based on the Port of Cairns, of course. High water there at 7:59 tomorrow morning. Up at Port Douglas, 2.8 metres at 7:48 in the morning, and a low water at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. That's a beautiful shot of looking up towards the Mossman Gorge in the background there. And finally tonight, sun up for Cairns tomorrow morning, 6:21, and sunset, 6:25 p.m, which is spot on wind weather time. See you then. Have a great evening. Now it's back to Paul and Sam.